Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, police car crash. This morning, 2 officers are recovering after being hit in Wendell. The new details we're learning from the scene.
And today is a WRAL weather alert day. I'm tracking this front, producing some strong to severe thunderstorms to our west. I'll show you when that arrives and what we'll see here.
And today is also Juneteenth, the federal holiday marking the end of slavery across the nation. The celebration is taking shape across the triangle today. 4:30 is the time right now. It is Thursday right now, Friday Eve here, and a WRAL weather alert day as well. I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you with us.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yesterday, we hit 94 degrees, so that was the hottest day of the year so far. Let's see what's in store for us today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the severe storms that could move into our area today.
So back to the west. Overnight last night, we had some thunderstorms producing severe weather. Still a little bit of that around Memphis, so it's still well to our west. It has a long way to go before it reaches us, and it's likely to be right around the evening commute that we begin to see a better chance for rain. There's 5 o'clock at 30%, and then that carries on into the evening. Our biggest threat today is going to be wind damage, but there could also be some hail with this as well. It's a level 2 out of 5 risk. And so again, damaging wind, our biggest threat between 5 and 11 o'clock is when we'll have the best chance of seeing those storms. Taking a look through downtown Raleigh right now, 79. It is really warm. Our dew point is at 69. It's always nice to see that dew point in the 60s, but 69 is awfully close to 70, obviously. Looking at the warmest temperatures in Durham and Raleigh in the upper 70s. Everybody else is mostly in the low to mid 70s heading out the door this morning. And of course, not only are we looking at storms later today, but it is going to be another very hot afternoon. The heat index will make it feel more like 103, and our highs this afternoon will be around 95. So if we hit that 95, that'll put us at the hottest day so far this year.
Elizabeth, thank you. Breaking news. Several law enforcement agents were on the scene this morning after 2 Wendell police officers were injured in a crash. This happened on Wendell Falls Parkway near Jake May Drive. WRAL's Ali Kalubar joins us from the scene in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, what are you learning this morning?
Yeah, just about 30 minutes ago, this section of the police department was full of police officers, and they were all surrounding this car right here. That is the vehicle that was involved in this crash. You can see some damage to the passenger side, but take a look at this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can really see that damage in the rear of this vehicle. You can also see just that back bumper hanging off, slightly shredded there. Now, this was all this morning on Wendell Falls Parkway and Jake May. Now, a Wendell officer on the scene told us that the 2 officers in the vehicle are okay. Now, on our way to the crash, we also saw 2 cars on a tow truck with major damage as well. And we saw a person in the back of a Nightdale police car. Been sorting through police radio traffic all morning, and we even heard that they were searching for a person who could have been involved in this crash near this intersection that we just told you. So we are still finding out the cause of this crash, as well as the identities of the officers and those involved and their conditions. We're going to keep you updated throughout the morning. Reporting in Wendell, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Police made an arrest after a shooting in Raleigh. 22-year-old Vincent Wesley is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and possession of a firearm by a felon. The shooting happened Sunday morning just after 2:30 on Star Street. The person who was shot is in critical condition. Today is Juneteenth, a federal holiday which marks the day in 1865 when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas to ensure the freedom of all enslaved people there. It had been 2 years since the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at Raleigh National Cemetery. And Kelsey, today is full of events marking the important anniversary, including honoring black soldiers who fought in the Civil War.
Yes, Jeff, the Raleigh National Cemetery will be the backdrop for a special Juneteenth celebration today. Several black soldiers who fought for their freedom during the Civil War have been laid to rest here. This morning, the community is honoring them. The U.S. colored troops were a regiment of mostly black soldiers who fought for the Union during the Civil War. They made up 10% of the Union Army and 25% of the Union Navy. This from the African American Civil War Museum. More than 200,000 men are listed as a part of the regiment in the National Archive. Their role was critical in the Union winning the Civil War, leading to the end of slavery.
The members of the United States Colored Troops, they are men who fought with courage and conviction in the Civil War, and their legacy will go on forever. Their legacy is very powerful, and it's our duty to make sure that legacy is preserved.
There are Juneteenth celebrations happening across the Triangle today. You're looking at video from some of last year's celebrations. For a full list of what's happening this year, you can head to WRAL.com. And the ceremony here at the National Cemetery starts this morning at 9:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
You should also be aware of several closures in the area today in recognition of Juneteenth as a federal holiday. Today, banks and government offices will be closed. There'll be no trading on Wall Street. No mail will be delivered from the U.S. Postal Service. Some retail pharmacies may close, but their stores, as well as most major retailers, will stay open.
2 men are facing federal charges after a human trafficking operation in Cumberland County. Jeffrey Smith Jr. and Dyron McMillian were arrested during a special operation from the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office. Each is charged with felony solicitation of prostitution. Both men have been released on bond.
2 people are facing murder charges after a shooting in Goldsboro that killed a man. Police announced the arrest last night of 34-year-old Mark Gant and 50-year-old Pamela Owens. They're charged in the shooting death of 58-year-old Jeffrey Allen on Norwood Avenue Tuesday night. Both Gant and Owens are being held without bond.
Escalation in the conflict between Iran and Israel as more strikes are fired between the 2 Middle Eastern countries. This morning, Israel says Iranian missiles hit a main hospital in the southern part of the country. Israeli leaders say at least 40 were wounded this morning from several strikes, including at the hospital. Meanwhile, Israel carried out strikes on Iran's heavy water reactor, its latest attack on the country's nuclear program. President Donald Trump is reportedly weighing a potential U.S. strike on Iran. Public opposition to American involvement in the war in Iran on display outside the White House. Protesters gathered in Washington, D.C., calling on the president to not get involved in this latest Middle Eastern conflict. The president has not decided whether the U.S. will play a part in Israel's campaign against Iran. Anti-war protesters say involvement in the war would endanger American families.
This morning, a Fayetteville police officer is being considered for dismissal from his job. Jacob Jones is facing 6 sexual battery charges. He is accused of committing the crimes while on duty. On June 10th, Jones responded to a police call at a business in Fayetteville. While reviewing camera footage, police say Officer Jones inappropriately touched an employee several times. Interim Police Chief Todd Joyce says Fayetteville police hold officers to the highest level of trust and no one is above the law.
We understand incidents like this can erode the trust we work so hard to build with our community. It is our responsibility to be transparent and to hold ourselves accountable for our actions.
Jones is being held at the Cumberland County Detention Center with a $25,000 secured bond.
Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools is welcoming its new superintendent. Rodney Trice was sworn into the role last night. Trice has been the district's deputy superintendent for teaching and learning. He has 27 years of educational experience. He earned multiple statewide honors for his commitment to equity, innovation, and instructional excellence in public education.
A candlelight vigil honored the lives of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark. Governor Tim Walz was in attendance for the emotional gathering in St. Paul. The couple was killed in their home over the weekend in what authorities call a political assassination. Melissa Hortman was in her 11th term in the Minnesota legislature, having first been elected in 2004. Mark Hortman was from Raleigh. The man accused in the shooting, Vance Belter, now faces federal and state charges. Today, state leaders will consider allowing Duke Energy to raise your electric bill in order to pay for future power plants. Supporters say Senate Bill 266 would keep bills from becoming even more expensive in the future. Critics say it could leave North Carolinians paying billions of dollars for power plants that never actually get built. A puppy mill punishment. A Raleigh woman is facing charges after more than 100 dogs were rescued from her house. The work now to put those pups on a new path to loving homes.
Scorching temperatures, how the heat is affecting local graduations taking place across Wake County.
And we're going to feel those sky-high temperatures once again today. This is a live look in downtown Raleigh right now. And meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is back to track the potential for heat hazards and those storms on the way.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43, and we're taking a live look here at downtown Raleigh. Right now, everything is nice and clear, but we will see increasing clouds as a cold front moves our way. And of course, that cold front is going to help to bring us a chance for some showers and thunderstorms as we get through the day today. We do have, of course, a level 1 risk or level 2 risk for severe storms across our area this morning. And so we're going to be watching out for that, of course. And the timeline on that is likely to be later on this evening. The biggest threat from these storms is going to be wind damage. There may be some hail with these storms as well. Before the storms get here, the heat is going to be our big story today as well. Our high temperature is likely to climb into the mid-90s, and with the heat index, it'll likely feel like up to 103 this afternoon. The storms don't really continue past today, but the heat definitely does. We'll talk about a very hot weekend in our forecast coming up.
A woman is facing charges in connection with a Raleigh puppy mill bust earlier this month. Aurora Garcia-Mozo faces 6 counts of cruelty to animals. More than 100 dogs and puppies were rescued from her home. The animals were extremely underweight. Many of them were suffering from skin and hygiene issues. The SPCA of Wake County says several of the dogs have already been adopted. Many others are in need of loving homes.
Many times when dogs come from situations like this one, they have never lived in a home where they don't know what a ceiling fan is. They don't know what the sound of a dishwasher is, or a dryer, or a washer, or a vacuum. It's a whole new world for them.
And the rescued dogs have been sent to different shelters and foster homes around the state. If you'd like to help, you can go to WRAL.com.
Wake County graduations wrapped up yesterday, and they happened on one of the hottest days so far this year. WRAL's Luke Notstein spoke to families at the Raleigh Convention Center who are trying their best to stay safe in the heat.
Graduates have to get here early, line up outside while wearing their robes, and wait to go inside the convention center. While many of the graduates are able to stand in the shade, there is simply no escaping the heat here in downtown Raleigh. The scorching temperature outside did not stop families from celebrating.
I was sweating up there, I can't lie, but it's cooler now. I think that it's over and I feel more calm.
How are you staying cool today?
There's no staying cool. I'm hot, man.
It was not this hot for mine. I don't really remember me sweating out of my clothes on graduation day.
This mom came prepared.
The key is being prepared, know where to park, remember where you parked, and I mean, it's pretty hot out here. It feels like 90-some degrees, but when I stepped inside for a moment, it's great air conditioning.
Several people said they had to adjust when they first walked inside the convention center. Then you walk inside, was it almost like cold when you first walked in?
Yeah, it felt, I was pretty chilly, honestly, but then I started sweating again.
Well, and I imagine the robes aren't super breathable.
Not really, but you gotta do what you have to do.
Battling the extreme conditions, these brothers forged a bond that will never break.
I didn't get to walk that stage for 2020, but getting to see him walk the stage. This is his. One of the best things I've ever wanted to see.
Before 2020.
So that was because of COVID, right?
Yeah, because of COVID. Gosh. But he's wearing my same robe, wearing everything. So I'm kind of glad I'm getting to see at least a part of me walking up there.
For these graduates and their families, the heat is not spoiling the special memories being made on this day.
I'm just glad we got to share this moment with each other because, we're sisters. Like, we're having this moment and then we're going to be, like, separating in college. I just love her so much.
It's great to have each other next, have this moment together.
While everyone I spoke to can agree that it's really hot outside today, there is simply nothing keeping these families from celebrating this big day together. Luke Notstein, WRAL News in downtown Raleigh.
Hey, at least they don't have to sweat those grades anymore. They're out of high school. Congrats to all the grads as they wrap that up. Elizabeth Gardner, meantime, over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. Be another sweaty one today.
It is. Boy, you know, whatever is happening today, of course, a lot of Juneteenth events, and it's definitely going to be hot. And then, of course, later on this evening, stormy. I'll have your Juneteenth forecast coming up in just a little bit, but we also have all the Juneteenth events on WRAL.com if you're wondering what's happening. What's happening right here around Memphis is some lingering severe weather. You see those yellow boxes popping up? Those are severe storms, and that spreads all the way toward Nashville. Nothing happening across North Carolina right now, but we'll roll through Futurecast and talk about our timing. We're seeing mainly clear skies right now. This is lunchtime at noon, and then the models have been kind of back and forth about how fast this is going to move in. This is the very latest run of Futurecast, and it shows an arrival that's much later. Notice that around 9, 10, 11 o'clock, we're seeing that band of thunderstorms coming through, so it may be a fairly late evening event for us. Level 2 risk means that we have scattered storms that could produce wind damage. In this case, maybe even some hail, definitely some heavy rain with this. Anytime as early as 5, lasting through around 11 or 12. We take a look outside right now, a little bit of a breeze. Yesterday was fairly windy, and gosh, a breeze really helps. It's a hot breeze, but hey, just mixing up that air makes it feel a little bit better. Right now, 79. Our dew point is 69, so very warm and sticky. You know, most of us have to go to work today. You can't hang out at the pool, but if your kids are out of school, that's a great place to be today. Mid-90s, though, Raleigh, Durham, and Fayetteville. This is a look at the big heat wave that will continue as we get into the weekend. We're looking at temperatures potentially in the upper 90s for the latter part of the weekend and early next week. Let's take a look at our heat index for today. Looking at 105. We'll see if the Weather Service issues a heat advisory for us. Sometimes 105 is that criteria, but definitely we'll be watching for Sunday and Monday. Remember, with heat, the impacts of heat are cumulative on your body. So if you've been exposed to heat for a couple of days, maybe your body handles it fine, but it's maybe that third day or fourth day, which we may see next week, that things get really tricky. Major heat risk for us on Monday, and then it goes up on Tuesday to purple there in parts of the viewing area, and that puts it at extreme. And so definitely the hottest air that we've seen so far this season. Look at that. 97 Sunday, 99 Monday, 100 on Tuesday. We typically only average one 100-degree day every year, and here we go. We may see it in June.
Elizabeth, thanks. Flagging down the flock. Runaway sheep causing troubles for drivers in Chatham County. The efforts this morning to round up the last of the sheep after they wandered free.
And bring on the boss. Bruce Springsteen is the center of an all-new biopic coming out this fall. Our first look at the actor putting his vocals to the test on the big screen. How about a first look at the boss, and a family turns to crime in an all-new Netflix series.
Douglas Hyde has that and more in this morning's Hollywood Minute.
A new trailer gives us our first look at Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen. He's playing the boss in the upcoming biopic Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, which hits theaters in October. The Bear star does his own singing in the film, which chronicles the making of Nebraska, one of Springsteen's most acclaimed albums.
$10 million worth of cocaine and opiates. You realize we've crossed a line. There's no coming back from this. Don't have a meltdown right here in the mud.
A prominent family turns to crime to keep their empire alive in Netflix's The Waterfront. The series premieres today and is based in part on the real-life experiences of show creator Kevin Williamson.
Kevin Williamson has been very open about the fact that back in the 1980s, his father was involved in trafficking. It was marijuana. You'd be amazed what you'll do when your back is against the wall and you're about to lose everything.
Oscar-winning director Catherine Bigelow gave us military movies like The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. Now she's turning her focus to the White House for the Netflix film A House of Dynamite. Starring Idris Elba and Rebecca Ferguson, the political thriller centers on a missile attack against the U.S. and the race to find who's responsible. A House of Dynamite explodes onto screens this fall. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
A woolly roundup is happening in Chatham County. Animal resource officials say a flock of sheep has been wandering near the Haw River and getting to the road, and that's creating hazards for the animals and for drivers. So far, crews have caught 8 sheep. They're trying to track down 2 more and figure out where they came from.
Lifting the cup high. Celebrations have not let up in Florida after the Panthers won the Stanley Cup Tuesday night. Fans gathered at a beach bar in Fort Lauderdale yesterday for the chance to touch the cup and party with some of the players. The Panthers are now back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. It's so hard to do. The team will host a victory parade this Sunday starting at noon. An unusual animal rescue after a dog in Lumberton allowed his curiosity to get the best of him. Fire and rescue crews were called after Koopa got his head stuck in a tire rim. He was taken to the fire station to see if they could get that off, and they didn't have any success, so they took the pup to a vet clinic. Koopa was sedated and the rim was removed. Thankfully, he was not hurt during the whole ordeal.
Thank goodness. Ahead at 5, officers in good spirits. 2 Wendell police officers are hospitalized after an early morning crash. The latest information from the scene.
And commemorating freedom, today's Juneteenth, the local celebrations marking the end of slavery and the ongoing fight for equality.
Plus, we're tracking the possibility for storms and dangerous heat. A live look in Clinton. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains why today is a WRAL weather alert day. Just ahead.